Hello students, good morning all. Welcome back. Geography NCERT Class 7 Chapter 3 Our Changing Earth Path First.
In this video, you will learn about our continuously changing dynamic Earth and how it was formed. The Earth that we see today is the product of millions of years geological change. How did the Earth evolve into the planet that we inhabit today? Well, all the continents always in the position that they are currently located. Scientists have been working for decades to find the answers of these questions. The most popular accepted theory on this came in 1915 from Alfred Wegener, a German meteorologist. He proved that millions of years ago, on the continents that joined in a supercontinent, which he called Pangaea. Pangaea is a Greek word that means all lands. So, what happened to Pangaea? Wegener said that due to some internal pressure and to the movement of the plates on the Earth's surface, Pangaea broke into pieces. Those pieces of land started drifted away from each other. The big land masses became continents. Water collecting between these land masses to form the oceans as we know that today. Here is an interesting fact that substantiates the story. If you examine the shapes of the continents closely, you will notice that the edge of the west coast of Africa complements the shape of east coast of South America. Just like these were two pieces due to the jigsaw puzzle. The theory of the plating of the big landmass into seven big continents is known as the theory of continental drift. But what caused the continental drift? In other words, why did the continents break up and drift away from each other? Another theory, the theory of plates tectonics, can answer this question. Let's look at the basis of this theory. The lithosphere consists a number of plates called the lithospheric plates or the tectonic plates. The word tectonics comes from the Greek roots to build. A plate, in geological terms, is a large, rigid slab of solid rock moving on molten magma on the Earth's surface. The circular movement of the molten magma inside the Earth causes the tectonic plates to move slowly. This movement can be as little as a few millimeters each year. However, slowly, this movement causes changes on the surface of the Earth. Here is an activity to illustrate how molten magma moves inside the earth. Fill half a beaker of water and put a beaker on a tripod burner. As the water starts boiling, put a crumbled paper in it. As you can see, for some time the paper flows upwards along the warm upper layer of the water. However, after a while, the crumbled piece of paper starts sinking with the cooler part of the water. The movement of the mantle inside the Earth's surface follows a similar pattern. This leads to the movements tectonic plates and changes on the surface of the Earth. The Earth's movements can be categorized into two types based on the forces that initiate in these movements. Some movements are caused by forces that active in the interior of the Earth. These forces are called endogenic force, and the movement thus caused are called endogenic movements. On the other hand, forces that works on the surface of the earth are called exogenic forces. The movements that result from these forces are called exogenic movements. The earth's outermost layer or the continents are moving under the influence of endogenic forces generated within the earth due to the tremendous heat of the mantle. These forces can be sudden forces that may result natural disaster such as earthquake, eruptions of volcanoes and landslides. Endogenic forces can also take the form of diastrophic forces that act slowly over a period of time. Diastrophic forces are referred to forces generated by the movement of the solid material of the earth crust. Diastrophic forces result in the bending or breaking of rocks. The bending and breaking of rocks create mountain systems like the Himalayas and deep valleys and just like the Mariana Trench. Endogenic movements can be vertical or horizontal. Vertical movements cause upliftment of sinking of the earth crust. When the earth sinks, valleys are formed. When the earth is lifted up, mountains are formed. As mentioned earlier, apart from endogenic forces, there are exogenic forces that act on the earth's surface. Exogenic forces can take the form of weathering, erosion, and deposition. Weathering is the breaking of rocks on the earth's surface by different agents. These agents could be rivers, winds, sea waves, and even ice in the form of glaciers. Erosion occurs when the Surface scene agents carried away the broken rocks to the another place. Finally, let's look at the process that rebuilding of the earth's surface, deposition. Deposition is also caused by natural agents like wind, water, and glaciers. Sand dunes in deserts are the most common example of deposition. A sand dunes is formed when wind lose sand away from one place and deposit its load in another place. You will learn more about the examples various endogenic and exogenic forces and movements in the next video. Meanwhile, let's quickly recap what we cover so far in this video. You learned that Alfred Wegener's theory of continental drift proved that millions of years ago all the continents were joined in a supercontinent which he called Pangaea. Due to the movement of the lithospheric plate, the supercontinent broke into large land masses that drifted away. The big land masses became continents, and water collected between the land masses to form oceans. The lithosphere consists of a number of plates called the lithospheric plates or the tectonic plates. The Earth's movements can be endogenic or exogenic. Endogenic movements force can be sudden or diastrophic. Exogenic forces are external forces are include weathering, erosion and deposition.